Hey, y'all. Thanks for joining us. We will begin with a quick opening statement from head coach Josh Wolff, then we'll take some questions. Josh?
Yeah, it's disappointing. Obviously, a disappointing result. I think it's a story we have seen before. The domination the first 30 minutes, and again, if you don't capitalize with the momentum that you can bring in a game, whether it's the first 30 minutes or at any point in the game, there's so many good opportunities to take the lead, and and you have to against these type of opponents. The longer they are in the game, the more their athleticism, speed, and power can make an impact. And the first 30 minutes were ripe with opportunities, and you have to take them. They fell to multiple players, and in the end of the day, the plays in and around the penalty box decide these games. So they had very little desire to play, but the way they were doing it was the way that they did it. And it's a second ball, it's a scramble, and obviously that's the goal that kind of then starts to change the structure and narrative of the game for the remainder of the time. But the second half they grabbed a second one, and again I think we came back into the game and made it 2-1 and had some nibbles to make it 2-2. But we're playing a little bit more risk, and obviously they get some chances as well. But we got to wash our hands, start moving forward. We got New York on Wednesday and another home game against LA on Saturday. So we got to move on.
We'll start with Phil. Please just do 2 questions per person. I want to make sure we get to everyone in the room. Thank you.
Yeah, so obviously on Thursday you were talking about pretty much must-win games now down the stretch. This makes it appreciably harder. Now there's a trip to New York in 3 days, and then obviously an emotional game against the Galaxy next Sunday. So just kind of thoughts on where it is?
Yeah, no, it's points are a premium. Playing at home is, you certainly expect and want and need to get 3 points at home. So that's, for us, we know that's a big miss. But if we don't take the opportunities and grab the lead when it's there like it is tonight, it makes it challenging. So this is we've seen this before, and unfortunately, we gotta pick ourselves up quickly and get ready for New York. And obviously they get an extra day's rest, but regardless, we'll go there and be ready to compete and do our best to get 3 points.
Yeah, and then how does the finishing get better? I mean, it's 2-1 possession in the first half. Yeah. Obviously, a lot of chances first 30, 35 minutes. Yeah. And then, again, another individual defensive mistake, and you're down 1-0 at halftime.
Yeah, it's, it falls, there's opportunities for Seba, for Emmy, for Giassi, maybe Alex to some degree. So it's around the group. We went through a period where we scored lots of goals, and this is it's frustrating, I'm sure, for guys when you're doing everything in the run of play. You have full control. They aren't able to catch up the game. You're generating chances that way. You're generating them through set pieces. Really limiting them in their opportunities. And again, when it doesn't come, they can hang around and fester. And again, it's a long ball, competing, grabbing, grappling, and it's a ball that just gets thrown into the mix. And those balls have been. We've seen that happen a number of times, but it starts to change the complexity of the game.
Could you say that Alex Rins tonight was the glue of the team?
Alex performed good. I thought it was good. I think the structure in the first 30 minutes, 35 minutes, we had a lot of the ball. We created a lot of chances, gave them a lot of problems, found Seba and Alex both in pockets. I thought Owen and Pepe, when they held positioning, they were able to connect with each other and connect and bring the game to the 10s. And when you do that, then obviously we start to address their back line really quickly. And the first 25, 30 minutes was exactly that. Early balls behind the line, Giassi, Seba, Emmy, and again, very little going the other way. So, Alex, I thought, was good in that. I think our whole, I think our midfield in general was quite good at the start.
How is the Bruin doing?
How's who?
The Bruin doing?
Bruin, yeah, head injury. So we'll see how he recovers. But obviously it's a good hit for him, and it's cut him open. So it was going to be challenging. So.
Were you able to say anything to him before he get out of the field?
No, but we have him on, our medical staff has them on the earbuds, so they're able to communicate with the trainers and obviously communicate through the player as well.
Coach, what is needed for next week against LAFC? What is needed to be worked on?
I'm sorry, against who?
LA Galaxy?
LA Galaxy. Well, at first it's New York, so we'll put our focus on the Red Bulls on Wednesday. But again, I think, as has been the case in a number of the games recently, taking our opportunities. When they do come, we have to find ways to score goals. And again, as you score goals, it creates momentum. It obviously shifts the focus of the opposition as well. So, I think we'll obviously take a bigger look at Red Bulls now tomorrow, and we've already actually looked at them, but we'll start to strategize based on the players and who's available, and we'll keep moving.
Jorge, I'm sorry, go ahead. Yep. We can go back row, and then we'll come to you. Apologies.
Okay. What are your current thoughts and assessments regarding the team's chances of making it to the playoffs, taking into consideration the results and performance of the past few matches?
Yeah, well, I think from a point standpoint, again, as long as there's mathematically there, I think our guys show good spirit. They show extremely committed to the cause. And tonight, again, you see what the team can do. We all can see what they can do. If we can grab goals, you can see how that scoreline could be very different. So. Again, I think the performance against Dallas was quite good. The performance against New England was good. The performance against Seattle was good. These are small margins. Again, we take a red card in Dallas and we lose momentum where it's a game where we almost win. In Seattle, very similar. It's 1-1. You have momentum. You have to beat the door down when it seems tough. And likewise against New England, the whole second half we were on them. And if we get a goal earlier, maybe that it's a win rather than a tie. But the level of quality inside the group and obviously the ability to generate chances and score goals is there. It's can you capitalize as much as you need to, and on the flip side, obviously we got to do a good job. These are some broken plays that are in there. Sometimes it's individual mistakes, but it's frustrating. I'm sure it gets old to hear, but it's tiring to see it as well. And but our guys continue to compete, and again, we have a game on Wednesday that's all we can really focus on and prepare for.
Jorge, go ahead.
Josh, we had 1 point in 7 games. I'm counting the Leagues Cup. And you basically, I heard you talking, saying the same thing, like we miss opportunities. Yeah. Is there something that you can fix, or we just wait for good luck?
Yeah, I think we work on finishing. We work on how we create chances. I think you can see the product of our work. We arrive in really good spots, and there's these are good goal scorers. Sebastian Juicy scored a boatload of goals last year. Giassi Zardes scored 100 goals in this league. Will Bruin, a bunch of goals as well. Ethan Finley, Alex Ring. These are guys that when opportunities come, they're people that you believe in and rely on. And right now, it's not going in. And but the way that we play, how we can set the table, so to speak. Again, I think there's a lot of positives. It's frustrating when we can't capitalize. There's no doubt about it, and it starts to affect the way the game goes, and obviously, ultimately, the outcome.
So basically, the answer is like the good luck we can have in a game or we cannot have in a game. Because you say we have opportunities, but it's 1 point of 21.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
It's just we need the good luck. That's the only thing we need.
Yeah, I don't know if that's what you think. That's
no,
what
that's what I ask you.
If that's what you think, then write that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Coach. Obviously, the first 30 minutes were really strong. But what kind of happened after that? Why was your team not creating chances at the same rate as what they were in the first 30 minutes?
In what part of the game? In the second half, or
second half, especially the start of the second half.
Yeah, the second half. Again, I think it's you have to see what they're doing, what changes are they doing, and obviously we still have to execute. We have to play at a certain tempo and utilize the ball positioning as we were in the first half. I think we got a little bit slow, a little bit predictable with it, and we made a subtle change, and I think we immediately started generating chances. So that's what brought us back to 2-1. We went back to a little different structure, but. Obviously we have control of the game. They're having a tough time keeping up with it. They get a goal, run a play. They're making some subtle changes, and then that's normal in the game. I think you have to adjust to some degree, and obviously we did that in the second half.
Colby.
Is there a path back to playing time for Maxi Rodriguez, or is he injured, or is he?
Yeah, of course. I think it's competitive. I think Will's done a decent job coming in as a sub. And Maxi's played games and come in as a sub as well. But for sure, there's nothing against Maxi at all. He's tireless and he works hard. But in a game where we're getting again more service, a guy like Will who gets on the end of things, he's made his livelihood on being a box player. I think Maxi deals with space a bit more and is a runner and can arrive in those ways. But I think that was part of the decision that went into that.
I guess this next question, I don't even know if it's for you, because it'd be more for maybe even Anthony or Claudio if he was still here, but. The club's spending $1.7 million on 3 strikers who have produced 9 goals. I guess how like frustrating is that? Not necessarily, I guess, from an economic standpoint, but just from like a lack of production standpoint.
Yeah, no, I think goals are a big part of the game. Obviously, you want players that are comfortable in front of goals, people that have experience, people that have proven that they can score goals. And as you build out a roster and you try to add depth, knowing that the season's going to be as long as it is, and there are injuries that come along. And we've seen that at the back line, how that's affected us. The first year we didn't have any strikers healthy at one point. And, I think it's you try to have an idea of what you have, different profiles inside that strike force, so to speak. And, I think Will looks a little different than G, and G looks a little different than Maxi. But from a productivity standpoint, they're not all going to start. We play with one striker. So, obviously when they do start, we count on them to create chances and score goals. Jossie, again, has a big chance early in this game and isn't able to capitalize. And, it's disappointing, but he's still fully capable, as is Will, Seba, Maxi's, all these guys.
Cole, did you have one? Otherwise, we'll go to the back row. No? We're going to go to the back row.
Is it a cricket?
Coach, one more question.
Sure.
What can you tell towards those fans that keep coming back, that are counting on you and the team? That way they don't give up hope and they can just keep coming and keep supporting their team.
Yeah, I think our fans are awesome, and the players, staff, our whole organization is quite appreciative of them, and obviously the energy and the atmosphere they bring. We do everything we can to reward them, and obviously it's a difficult night, but you can certainly feel it, and it's greatly appreciated from all of us. Again, I think there's opportunities there today for us to bring them what they want, which is a win and 3 points, and keep us moving forward. But appreciate it and look forward to seeing them at the next game and their continued support.
All right, let me grab that.
He's doing all right. He's just hanging out. He's just laying down on the thing. He's not going anywhere. There are a lot. I've heard that on the news about these crickets.
Josh.
Jorge, go ahead.
Yes, Josh. On training, what do you see different as at the games? I mean, what's the thing you see in training that convinces you that these players give you the faith to put them on this starting 11?
Well, I think there's a lot that goes into decisions of playing time. There's the health of the group. There's what we want to do as a group. Training is part of it. There's competition for spaces or spots, but I think it's a combination of many things. What do we expect the opposition to look like? What do we expect to exploit based on the opposition? So there's a number of things that play into that.
Phil?
And then just kind of given, personally where you're at right now, just, obviously there's a lot of talk, questions about whether you should stay from some of the fans. I mean, it's got to be frustrating. I mean, is there anything, you want to kind of say personally right now about just how you're kind of feeling about how things are going with the season? Just the season. There's a lot of frustrations, obviously.
I think so. Yeah, I think you obviously, you have, we want the best for the club, the organization. We know this is challenging. I've been in this league a long time. I've seen what this league can do. You can be flying one year and you can be a little low the next year, and conversely that happens. I mean, it's a grind though, and it's more typical of this where you're in more of the mix than you're top two or the bottom two. So. We got to fight and grind like most teams. This is what it is, and it's you're constantly needing to build out your roster. You're constantly needing to evolve as a team. Ultimately you have to get results, and you have to show the performances. The players have to show performances, and as a staff, we have to put together ideas, game plans, and obviously put forth the best players. And again, this is a group where a lot of these players were here last year, and. They have full understanding of what we're trying to do, and obviously the new guys have done a good job coming in, but you have to get results, and we know that, but it's been frustrating. There's been lots of things that detract from that this year. It's in a lot of ways, but we stay positive. We keep going back to what we do. There's a process, and these players work extremely hard, as does the staff, and we got to keep moving forward.
Thanks, Coach. Thanks, everyone. Please follow